Hi, this is Gaurav Sundararaman from ESPN Cricinfo, and I'm here to share some fantasy pro tips for the upcoming week. The next week is a very important week in the IPL. It's the playoffs week. But one thing is slightly different from what we saw in the league phase. We're going to be playing at completely new venues. First up is going to be at Eden Gardens, Kolkata. Eden Gardens is a very short ground, and it's going to be fresh wickets. It will favor pacers who strike once every 20 balls. Spinners strike at once every 23 balls. But because the pitches are going to be brand new, you can expect some very good bounce for the pacers. From a batting perspective, I would avoid openers, especially those who bat in the first innings. The teams which win the toss most likely are going to choose to chase. Reason being, nobody wants to play on a wicket which they're not sure how it's going to play. So focus on picking openers from the second innings and pick fast bowlers from both teams who are going to open the attack. Because the ground dimensions are very small and generally the average score is in excess of 170, I wouldn't think spinners will come too much into play. However, the likes of Chahal and R. Ashwin and maybe Manindo Hasaranga could be very useful in these kind of pitches. Next, they move to Amarava. What can we expect from Amarava? One thing you need to know is that the ground is very big. Unlike Eden Gardens, the Ahmedabad venue is slightly on the bigger side. So what happens because of that? Spinners would come into play. They take a wicket once every 26 deliveries, whereas the pacers still continue to take once every 20 deliveries. So I think from a pace bowling point of view, you need to stick to the tried and tested fast bowlers who have been doing very well in their competition. But in terms of spinners, you need to be a bit careful. In terms of batters, for Ahmedabad, I would still take a punt and go with picking some openers and top order players. But for Kolkata, I would stick to middle order and maybe more batters from the second batting team. Now let us see which players to pick from each team. Gujarat Titans. For Gujarat Titans, I would stick to Mohammad Shami, Rashid Khan, Hardik Pandya and Shubman Gill. I think these four are the core members of the Gujarat Titans team and they are the ones who need to deliver in a current situation. For Rajasthan Royals, I think I will load them with a lot of players. The reason being, they are the favourites to win because of their bowling attack. Trent Bolt, Yuzvendra Chahal, Josh Butler, Sanju Samson, Yashasvi Jaiswal, these guys are shoe-in to my team. From Lucknow Super Giants, that is going to be a bit tricky because they have players who have been performing and underperforming pretty regularly. Apart from KL Rahul, there's nobody who has been very bankable through the season. So I'll stick to KL Rahul and I'll pick a lot of bowlers. Avesh Khan, Mohsin Khan, Jason Holder and maybe Deepak Hooda. These are the guys who have been doing very well in the league phase and are likely to continue in the playoffs. From the Royal Challengers Bangalore, I will pick Virat Kohli this time. He's just got into form and there's a good chance come up the big stage he might really perform well. Glenn Maxwell, obviously, and Josh Hazelwood. I think the wickets at Eden Gardens and Ahmedabad would suit the likes of Josh Hazelwood.